Hey folks, this is the Fighting Nerd and his co-host Jolly Roger. Trying something new today. I'm actually going to record this on my smartphone to see if I can get some audio that is in sync. We shall see. Sorry about no video last week, but the truth is, I forgot to make one. I'd like to have some really good excuse, but the fact is, I was turning out some really cool artwork and forgot to make one. So today is going to be a bit of a rant. And it's another Star Trek rant. Lord forbid. So, we've had the disaster that was Star Trek Discovery. And we've got the Abrams-verse mess. Now, Discovery wasn't the disaster I originally thought, but it was still a pretty big disaster. And what did we find out today? That CBS All-Access. It's kind of funny. CBS All-Access, yet they're restricting access. But that's a different point. What did we find out yesterday? At least I found out yesterday. That the vandalization of Star Trek is going to continue. Woohoo! So, we've got 4 new Trek-related properties in development by the people who haven't got the other ones right. We got one Star Trek Academy, 90210 in space, same people that did Gossip Girl. Teenage Angst in Space. Oh boy. Then we've got a Khan miniseries, because the Cumberbatch Khan and Into Darkness was so good. And we've got this mystery thing that Patrick Stewart may or may not be involved in. And Patrick Stewart may or may not be the Commandant of Starfleet Academy. Can you imagine how boring Starfleet would be if he trained all the officers? Not to mention that if any of these officers go on to get their own TV show, they're going to surrender, or try to surrender, in the first 2 episodes of their shows. And then we've got an animated Trek coming out, which, since all the Abrams-verse were Star Wars pretending to be Star Trek, you've got to be figuring that the animated series coming out of CBS All-Access, which is an All-Access, is going to be Attack of the Clones, with some Star Trek names and places filled in. I did a video a while back, Let Star Trek Die with Dignity. And I say it again, let it die with dignity. People recognize the name. And new people might tune in, not having known Star Trek when Star Trek was still good. And some hardcore fans will fork over the money to pay for this stuff because they have a glimmer of hope. They are hoping, praying, evoking the ghost of Roddenberry to maintain a visage of hope that these shows won't suck. So they fork over. And they get disappointed. Maybe some of them are just Star Trek masochists. Or maybe somebody look at it, if they look at Trek the way it is now, they can appreciate Trek when it was good even more. I don't know. Not optimistic, folks. I guess you got that. Stop vandalizing Star Trek. I say that to CBS. I say that to Paramount. If you're going to do Star Trek, do Star Trek the way it was intended. There is nothing wrong with people that are decent human beings. There is nothing wrong. Although I don't share their utopian view of the future. I think the future is going to suck as much as the present, maybe even more. But that's the point. It can get better. I don't think it's going to be this liberal, socialist, progressive utopia. But watching it, watching that setting, watching stories told in that setting is better than a whole bunch of self-loathing, self-doubting, despicable human beings who run around in space screwing each other over at every opportunity. I have no hope for these shows. None. It makes me appreciate all the Star Trek episodes I have on disc, especially the original series, the two Star Trek series, Kirk, Spock, McCoy, the gang. It makes me appreciate other old sci-fi series, like Jerry Anderson's UFO. Now maybe hold that still so you can see it. Great series, underrated, one season, cool stuff. Better than Discovery or the Abrams verse. Stop doing it. Stop vandalizing Star Trek. This is The Fighting Nerd, Ray Chalinsky and his co-host Jolly Roger, bidding you goodbye from the Resistance Bunker.